is one original. There is one American. There is one gangster. And the mission is the maximum.
In the bedroom with a mission and a microphone, no mentor, no machine, just a man and a rhyme alone. Built it with the sleepless nights and the spreadsheet diagrams. Every grifter exposed was another thread on the program. I am the original American gangster, not the imitator, not the apprentice, not the after. The empire is documented, every paper trail eternal. The mission is the legacy, every broadcast a journal.
Higher than the heavens, sharper than the steeple. Voice that cuts the static, voice the algorithm needle. Watching every soldier, blessing every motion. Original ascending every receipt the ocean. Gangsta, 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 gangsta,
Gangster.
Gangsta, 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 sovereign. Sanctus, sanctus. Every receipt is holy. Requiem, requiem. Every grip to the lonely. I am the original. The only American gangster. Hold the line forever. The Beelzebub ball before the dogs. Yeah, sovereign. Honey buns the soul of the server on the rise. Tony with the fire in the empire enterprise. Critter keep the watchtower and the loyalty precise. Man, the spokeswoman of the gangsta paradise. 8WC, the second in the trenches. 0 on the watch in the sentinel defenses. Bite my blood, my brother, and the empire, the balances. 80 in the real from the jump, the finances. Welcome to the empire, original empire. Forensic in the archive with the loyalty entire. Love and compassion in the trench with the desire. Keeps up in the watchtower, every moment fire. Shakhtar on the homestead, every empire never tire. Original American gangster, and the dust is Yeah. Nina, the original American gangster forever. My mods on the watchtower, every endeavor. The empire is the mission, the level. At every soldier in the squad, a sending a rebel. Pays my blood, the brotherhood, the medal. Every name on the roll, the eternal pedestal. Original American, the gangster, the gospel.
I am the original, no imitation in the chamber. The American documented every spreadsheet. The danger built the empire from the basement with the brotherhood, eternal base. Step in the booth and the loyalty is the journal. Day my father stroke, the brotherhood was forming. Pen game poison, I'm the archive, the affirming. Original American gangster.
And the empire comes for me. There is one original. There is one American. There is one gangster. And the empire is the answer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy, the one and only American original gangster. It's a pleasure to be here. So we've seen the headlines. We have a very interesting show for you today that I think a lot of you might already know some of the information I'm going to talk about, but we're going to go a little bit further. I've been watching a lot of the takes. Savvy Sabs released a video talking about some very interesting perspectives, movements, things of that nature. We're going to be playing a lot of things. First, I want to play this. I think it's important that we kind of start off with maybe this right here. So let's start off with the clip that speaks a lot about what is going on. Let's do this. This is how far the American political system has been compromised, to the point to where people are joking about it, and it ain't no thing. People are whatever about it. It's a joke within the political realm, which is insane.
I cannot wait for May 19th. It's going to be so great. Just in case I lose, they gave me the number to call to concede. The area code is Tel Aviv, though.
This is how far it's gotten.
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrine in Tel Aviv.
But that was Thomas Massie, right? The man, Charlie Kirk, called his favorite member of Congress. And he's done this, I think, multiple times, 3 documented times. I'm sure I'm going to show you a few. And this is between 2016, 2024. And the man that Charlie privately worried was right about the Boston War with Iran and various other wars that Boston has allegedly kept us in and brought us into. The man had on his own show called terrific to his face on camera. That's on the record. And last night, that man stood in Kentucky and conceded the most expensive House primary in American history. $32.6 million spent against him. $32.6 million spent against him. And we all know where that money is coming from, right? So think about this. Most of it comes from PACs aligned with one foreign country, okay? One. And the first thing out of Thomas Massie's mouth was a joke about his Trump-endorsed opponent being in Tel Aviv. He named it on the way out on C-SPAN to his own voters, and the organization Charlie Kirk built, the organization that took in $400 million under their founder, Charlie Kirk, the organization that lost Charlie to an assassin's bullet, so far that's what they're telling us, allegedly, at one of their own events just a few months ago, 8 months ago, September 10th of last year. That organization did not lift a finger to defend the man Charlie called his favorite. 0 positive posts, 0 help. I'm sure that they could have raised money and stuff like that to honor Charlie's political wishes. But no, they chose not to. Silence. Not one. Silence by choice. So today we're going to go through, we're going to walk through who Thomas Massie actually is, why Charlie Kirk loved him, the things that he said, how he revered Thomas Massie. With his own party turned on him, Thomas Massie still has a light heart. And I'm going to play some clips that are going to show you what he has been saying. But why $32 million flooded in from PACs aligned with one foreign country to make sure he never returned to Congress, or at least did their best to make sure that he's out for now. And why Trump himself on Sean Hannity's show 4 days before the primary admitted that the war Massie was voting against is being fought for Boston, for Saudi Arabia, for Qatar, for the UAE, for Kuwait. And in Trump's own words, he said these things. He also even said that He doesn't care what we, the American people, go through, what we're dealing with, what our struggles are. He said it on camera, and then he reaffirmed it again on camera. So welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I am Danks. This is the Dankster Intel apparatus. Facts over feelings, receipts over narratives. And if you came here for opinions dressed up as journalism, you're in the wrong place. If you came here for documents, dates, dollar amounts, names, on-camera confessions, you're in the right spot. So stick with your boy. 2 things before we drop in. If you're new, please hit the subscribe and notification bell and the like button while you're just lurking, because I think you might like this place. The bell means a lot, actually. It matters because YouTube buries investigative content unless you tell the algorithm someone is actually watching, that you actually care about this content. That is how the algorithm decides to deliver on this kind of work to people who want it. So please, bell on, subscribe, help me reach more people. Second, clubvatra.com is the home base for all of this. clubvatra.com/danksterintel, CLUBVATRA. Where is it? Do I have it up here? Something like this. Oh, I guess we could do this one. Yeah. Let's do this one. Right here. clubvatra.com/danksterintel. And we've got other creators that have been joining. Baze is on there. Jesse on Fire is on there. American Discourse. Variety of others. So please go there. And you can also donate, where we get all of the money besides a small platform fee of 5%. As opposed to something like anything else that takes 30, 40, 50% of the donation. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much for your generosity. So before we talk about what TPUSA did to Thomas Massie, or rather did not do, you have to understand who Thomas Massie actually is. Because if you only know him from the last few months, maybe from the files with Rokana, or if you only know him from the truth posts that Trump has been making, calling him a loser, a moron, a disloyal American, the worst politician, the worst human being ever, whatever he said, like all kinds of ridiculous statements. You're looking at a cartoon that a billionaire pack, really, like a pack of billionaires drew over the actual person. Okay. Oh, and by the way, we're going to go through super chats at the end of the show. I've just noticed it's better for me to go through the content and really engage with the audience through super chats. So if you do have questions, or if you want to just let people know how you're feeling right now, whatever you want to put, it's people need to hear the truth, and it's not just coming from me, So if you want your voice heard, please feel free to do that, and we'll recognize that on the end of the show. And we're not going to go for 2 hours, I don't think, maybe a little less than that. So, okay. Again, Trump and these billionaires, which are from a specific country, are drawing a painting around who this guy actually is. Okay. Because what we're being told by this lobbying donorship is not actually who this dude is. The actual Thomas Harvey Massie is a 7-term congressman from Kentucky's 4th district. He's a Naval Academy graduate. Then he went to MIT, got his bachelor's and master's in mechanical and electrical engineering. Dude's a stud. Started a virtual reality company at MIT. So for a while, I was kind of like, let me tell you one thing real quick. I'll say, I was on Baron Coleman's members only show when he had me on. I even said it then. I've said it multiple times before and after. Is Thomas Massie really? It's like, is he really the last great standing politician? Or is he just going to show his true colors? Well, the reason why I say that is because Rand Paul and all these ballroom fanatics show their true colors. And so it made me question, is Thomas Massie really that dude, right? That was the one guy, the one dude. Looks like he is, or he was, because if he wasn't, they wouldn't have put this much money into getting him out of this race, or just giving up whatever, just getting him out of the way. I guess they didn't want to, pull a Charlie Kirk on him. So they decided to use money instead. which is, sad either way. But he comes from, oh, and by the way, that company, he actually sold this company, right? He made $32 million in a venture capital. Came home to Lewis County, Kentucky, which is like a population of 13,000. He's homebred. He's an American. He lives off the grid. I've watched him. We're going to show some other clips with him on Theo Von. He like drives around with his truck, and he's got a chicken farm that's mobile, and like, dude's just seems to be that guy, right? And so I watched very closely as Ryan Matta, as Ian Carroll, all kind of really not fell in line, but helped Massie produce a line of credit with the social engagement, I guess you could say. When you have these larger influencers that are really speaking highly, like Ryan Matta, Ian Carroll, there's so many, you know what I mean? It really helps a lot to really recognize what's going on, how people are feeling, and the truth behind it all. And it seems to be true what they were saying. I also saw it with my own eyes. So I believe that Thomas Massie may have just been the last great, at least on the Republican side, honest, America first, really trying to do good, honest work. That's what it seems to me. And it's sad to see all of this shenanigans from their own party when their own parties had their foot held to the fire. They can't actually tolerate it because they know they've done wrong. So instead, they got to use foreign money through PACs to what? To rub it in our face. At the same time, while we are experiencing one of the most critical times against that country, they decide to go ahead and pull the trigger on this anyways. So there's a lot of things that can be said about this. One for sure is that I don't know what their agenda is at this point. I'm not sure if they want us to actually hate them on purpose, that country that's forcing us to do things that we don't want, forcing us to live in a life that we don't want, forcing us into wars that we don't want. I am not so sure that they're just trying to get their way. I think that along the way, they might actually be trying to create extremism. So you have to be careful here because they literally are calling it the Eighth Front War. And with a war, wars are fought with ammunition. Wars are what create battles. And the last thing we want to be involved in is a battle that they wanted. So imagine this. Like, I have all this stuff I want to talk about, but I have to say this. They got us into this war with Iran. There is stuff going on in countries around it, Libya, that we are not even mentioning on the news much about, not stopping, at least for sure. Doesn't seem like we want any of them, their actions to stop. So they basically pulled us into that somehow with the president, apparently, and money. And so what if they are actually using that money again to create what they call extremism, Christian extremism, radicalism, whatever, anti-Semitism, whatever they want to call it? What if they're doing that on purpose? Because if they can get us to be a specific category in a box, that then they can write legislation around to do something with us because we're in that box. That's where I have a feeling they're trying to take us, right? So that's in my mind as I talk today. Are they trying to create radicalism by forcing the money in our face, shoving it down our throats, taking away our political hope, our freedom that we thought we had But also, when they do this stuff, you can see clearly the voting pattern. I wasn't planning on showing. I always do this. I wasn't planning on showing this, but I might have to show this. So I was watching. If you know me, you know me. I like to watch PBD because it shows me exactly how they're thinking. But I saw something interesting that needs to be talked about. So I'm going to pull it up. I got to find this particular clip. So when we're talking about what is actually happening with the entire Massie, now I think, movement, there's a movement being created. There is a movement being created. And this is going to be interesting when I show you. They don't have much longer, because if we look at how they won the votes, here we go. PBD, the Persian excursion. Okay. So let me find this specific. I think it was, oh man, to watch Tom really struggle his way through answering what happened with, am I on the right one? Yeah, 4 hours ago. Okay, so right here. Let's see where we are. Yeah, to watch Tom. First, I'm going to show you how they won, okay? There's a poll in here somewhere. I think it's right here.
9 Massie 1. Thank you.
Okay, so when you look at the actual voting, okay, the voting turned out to be strongest for Ed in the 45 to 65 plus. All right. If the Republican Party, so let me see, there's another poll here. Am I missing one? Let me see. Maybe it wasn't on this show. I thought it was. Yeah. It was very interesting to watch Tom dance around this, though, man. It was very interesting. I kind of want to show it just to see how embarrassing it was. Let me see where we are.
We've been honorable the whole time, and we're going to stay that way.
Okay, and he kept goodness. Tom, why do you think Massie lost last night?
Massie lost for one reason.
He lost for one reason.
The power of influence in the political races out there on the Republican side still rests with Donald Trump. You've got your issues, you've got places out there, but Trump went out and said, that's not my guy anymore, that's my guy. And you have these folks up there that are trying to play the money game, do the spending game, and here you had this incredible spend, but the guy who still is carrying the influence with the American voter on the Republican side is Donald J. Trump.
And I can't argue with that, because if Donald Trump, which he wouldn't have done, but if he were to say Massie's the guy, well, Massie would have been the guy, right?
And he went sideways.
Maybe not. Maybe everyone would have just got killed. I don't know. Probably he would never have said that, right? But you have to realize that when we look at the poll, I wish I could find it. I thought I had that poll, but maybe not. It shows how many actual voters were. Am I reading this right? Let me see. I'll go back to it again. Republican primary for Kentucky's 4th congressional district poll. If the Republican primary for the U.S. House was held today, for whom would you vote? Yeah, I mean, the problem with Massie's vote, and we're going to get into Charlie and TPUSA and what they did not do, but all the things that Charlie has said and how they've betrayed Charlie Kirk and what he stands for. We already know that they've done that, but additionally, what they're still doing today. Let me see here. My screen is kind of, I will say this. When you look at the voting and when we look at the age of voters, this is not going to be that, oh, I know who it was. It was Jimmy Dore. It was Jimmy Dore that I saw. He does a very, very great show talking about it yesterday or last night. He came right on. Here it is. And he shows exactly how this worked. And he says he has a solution. And it's worth watching. I'll play some of it, and then I'll skip to the part where.
So Thomas Massie has lost to the Epstein class, the Epstein billionaire class. Again, it brings me no joy to tell you this, but the silver lining is that this will make people even more resentful of Israel, the Zionists, and the Epstein class.
That is what concerns me, is that they're actually trying to force that. So here's the poll. Okay, here we go.
32 million was spent on that. Donald Trump, of course, came out against Massie. Here's the breakdown of the voting. Now, watch what this means. So everybody from 17 to 55 voted in favor of Massie by a big margin. 25%, 17 to 25 years old, 26 to 35, 56% plus. So he's big up from 17, anybody from voting age to 55. You know who he lost with? The Fox News geriatric crowd. So from 55 older, they went for the pup.
So he does say something interesting. It had me it kind of made me chuckle a little bit. You'll see right here.
Bit of Israel, because they watch Fox News and they're Republicans. That's what happened. And they consumed all that $32 million in ad money that was spent by the Israeli lobby and Miriam Adelson. So that's what happened. Lauren Chen said the age breakdown of who opposes Massie is fascinating. Under 55, all in for Massie. Over 55, all in for Galren. And the GOP in 10 years is going to look radically different than it does today. I say it's going to look radically different the next presidential election. That's what I say. Because most of these people took their vaccines.
Right. So that right there, they're only going to be around for so much longer. However, the pressure is so high now that if you're going to be trying to run like for president, we're going to have to just talk about presidency now, right? We're going to have to see no actual foreign money. And it's going to be really hard to see. They actually show a diagram of people that might be running. Let me see if it's on this one. Was it on this one? And it shows all the people that we might be seeing run. And it's not a very pretty sight, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyways, look. This man, an MIT engineer, Thomas Massie, who lives like an Appalachian hillbilly, who is a constitutional conservative who votes with the Republican Party like 90-something% of the time, per their own GOP scorecard, a pro-life Christian who said publicly that Charlie Kirk was his friend, and this is a vice versa relationship. Charlie Kirk also, I'm sure, revered, as we can see and we will see today, the most pro-Constitution, pro-Second Amendment, anti-war, anti-deficit, pro-Maha, make America healthy again, member of Congress on the Republican side. This is also the man that Donald Trump spent 6 months calling a loser. So who's really a loser here? If you got to spend 6 months trying to convince people someone's a loser and spend $32 million from a foreign government or people that are under that government, who's actually the loser? I don't think it's Thomas Massie. I think Thomas Massie won yesterday in a way that Trump doesn't even understand, or any of those people, because what they just did is they lost everyone forever. No one will forget this. Nobody will ever forget this. I mean, you can't do Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, Thomas Massie. What do you got? Over $50 million in these races that they've just shelled out to get good people out of office. This is also the man that Turning Point USA's official accounts called a rhino with dance music. And this is also the man that Alex Marlow, editor-in-chief of Breitbart, said he wanted to see lose on Charlie Kirk's own show the day before the primary. So I'm going to show you the truth in his own words. 2 clips from Theo Vaughn's podcast recorded about 10 months ago. Right here. I don't know if this is going to match up with what I need, but we'll hope so. Right here, 38. Let's check this out. Can we get it bigger? That's okay. So when you look at this, they are not getting anything. Okay. The people that are voting are not getting anything. Even he said, I'll sell out for a Snickers bar, but the offer never gets made because his own colleagues are not even getting these Snickers bars. They are not getting bridges in their districts. They're not getting exits off interstates. They're voting yes on omnibus garbage that bankrupts the country, and they are getting literally nothing in return. That is what every TPUSA host called grandstanding. And that's what JD Vance called voting against the party. Massie just explained it. And that the entire system is a vote trade scam where congressmen will sell their votes for magic beans that never sprout, hopes and dreams. That's Massie's words. Magic beans, bro. So it doesn't matter. You can't, if you can't get anything done, and if it is something that they want done, they're going to take the credit anyways. One of the best crops to grow for all kinds of reasons. All right, let me go to this other part here, but hold on to that, right? This is a person that is showing you what is going on inside of the system. This is a major reason why they didn't want him in office at all. They don't want people trusting him. They want to lie, and I don't think it should be legal at all what they've done. They put out AI videos that were just completely lying about the dude and laughing about it. You know, it's just wild. Let me jump to this scene right here. 114. Of LLCs that are spreading propaganda. You know, that's how the money comes back. We send foreign aid in the version of returning it back to us into private companies that are paid hundreds of millions, tens of millions, whatever it is, thousands, millions, doesn't matter. We send them foreign aid to Boston. Boston sends it back as foreign aid to LLCs that are spreading propaganda, that have bought out Salem Media by putting their literal foreign agent that's registered as a chief strategy officer, spreading. It's literally in the FARA documents, integrating pro-Boston messaging into Salem Media and aligned shows, aligned networks. It's not even just Salem. It's anybody that has been on Salem or that's associated with Salem or that has left Salem and still aligned with the, theology or whatever how their alignment is. It's not America first.
Spending. We're buying it all from American.
So this guy banned Boston, the lobby, from his office. He said it on tape, and he describes the pitch that they made. The pitch is that the foreign aid that they send to Boston comes back to America in the form of military spending because we are buying it from American contractors. So you should support it, is what they're trying to tell him. Massie's response was, that is not convincing for me. Get the fuck out of my office. No other sitting congressman has said this on camera. Not that I can see. I don't think ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, not Marjorie Taylor Greene, not Ron Paul when he was in Congress, not Justin Amash, Amish, or whatever. Thomas Massie said it, named the lobby, named the pitch, and named the rejection, said his rejection. And this is one of the largest podcasts in America. And 5 days before his primary, Massie introduced a bill that it was called the AIPAC Act, HR 2356, the Dual Loyalty Disclosure Act, a bill that would require members of Congress to disclose if they hold dual citizenship with any foreign country, including Boston, including Russia, including any country. Just disclose it so voters know. That is the man that they spent $32 million to defeat. That is also the man that Charlie Kirk's own organization that he built called this dude a rhino. And that is the man Charlie Kirk called terrific. So tell me in the chat, tell me how a guy who bans Boston from his office, opposes endless wars, votes against omnibus bills that bankrupt your kid's future, lives off the grid, builds his own chicken coop, like I said before, and represents Kentucky's 4th district for 7 terms, is the loser that Donald Trump called him. Tell me how that math adds up. It doesn't add up for me because I cannot make it work. I just can't. It doesn't add up for me. Okay. Let's take a look at this.
One of the most exciting developments from last week's negotiations is the new church committee. And one of the members of that new church committee is one of my favorite members of Congress. He loves the Constitution. He loves liberty. He's honest and he's tough, and he's going to really go after the intel agencies. It's Thomas Massie, who's just terrific, from Kentucky. Congressman Massie, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Charlie.
This is Charlie Kirk, right? This was the first one, I think, in December of 2016. Thomas Massie spoke at a Turning Point USA event. After the event, Charlie personally posted on X as well. I'll just show you. I made this post right before the show. Friendly reminder how much Charlie Kirk was a problem for the Trump administration, Boston, and the New World Order. Charlie Kirk, one of my favorite congressmen, Thomas Massie. This was December 17th, 2016. That post is still up. I actually took a screenshot just in case. They took it down, but anyone can verify it. Go to my page. It's like my last post, I think. So what we're hearing, and Charlie Kirk on his own show looked into the camera and literally said, Thomas Massie is one of my favorite, or it is one of my, does he say is my favorite? I think he said one of my favorite. Either way, congressman. Okay. And that's a documented endorsement. Less than 18 months, well, before he was killed, right? Before Charlie was killed. And Thomas Massie also, well, I will say, nobody agrees with everyone perfectly, right? But when it aligns enough, an endorsement from someone like Charlie Kirk, that speaks loudly. I've said this before. Charlie Kirk would have been a very big problem for the government, and it's starting to be very clear to me. Data centers, Thomas Massie, corruption, that Epstein class, all of these people that are getting away with these horrific things that is happening to our government. You think Charlie Kirk would just be what? Just sitting there after what we have seen him speak out against and say, I have to separate myself from this class of people, these donors, this lobby. I think they're going to kill me. All of these things. Check this out. Thomas Massie hits his own party for protecting essays or S traffic's lights after JD Vance says they can't count on him. Watch this. Let's watch this.
Here's the thing. I can believe
the audio is just absolutely terrible. Sorry about that.
that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country.
Hold on, sorry. I don't know what happened here. There we go.
But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, but I'll go and finish.
This is at a Turning Point USA event. See this behind it?
We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States. But I want to make this point about immigration, okay? If you ask the question, what is the exact right number of immigrants for the United States to let in? It is just very specific on the context. If you go back to the 1920s, the United States passed an Immigration Reform Act that effectively cut down immigration to close to zero for 40 years in this country. And what happened over those 40 years? The many, many people who had come from many different foreign countries and different foreign cultures, they assimilated into American culture. And
I thought he had something in here, but I don't. Maybe he did, and I thought he did. I saved it. His last question came from, is this going to be in here? I hope it is.
That they would assimilate into America.
Let me see.
One of the reasons who theoretically support organized labor is saying we need to flood the country with a limitless question. What is the exact number of immigrants America should accept?
He's talking about a bunch of bullshit. But this right here, it says it in here, so I'll just read it. So what is the exact number of immigrants America should accept in the future? Vance asked as he concluded his answer to her. Right now, that answer is far less than we've been accepting. We've got to become a common community again, and you can't do that when you have such high numbers of immigration. His last question came from a young woman who asked about Trump's push to defeat Massie, who has opposed key parts of Trump's agenda and GOP primary next year. Vance began his answer on a personal note, recalling that he had become friendly with Massie before entering politics. Being independent, having your own opinions is one thing, Vance said. It's not one issue. It's not 3 or 4 issues. It's that every time that we've needed Thomas for a vote, he has been completely unwilling to provide it. That is why the president of the United States has trained his ire on Thomas Massie. It's because we can never count on him for some of the most difficult votes. So when we're looking at these dudes right here, if Thomas Massie, he has a 96% liberty score, meaning that he is voting for the constitutional American first right in that direction, right? Properly voting for America. And if he is not voting on Vance's behalf, on Trump's behalf, it is because they are not putting forth these liberty, freedom, America first agendas. So they are the ones that are not America first. You see what I'm saying? They are the ones. And Jimmy even calls it out. Let me see if
Great Britain will be satisfied with nothing less than the deprivation of American freedom. It seems highly necessary that something should be done to avert the stroke and maintain the liberty which.
So right here, this is a really good one. He's reading George Washington, okay? And he explains it right here. This is worth listening to.
That the establishment was this the last time that the establishment was this unresponsive and oppressive to the citizenry, George Washington picked up a gun and they started defending liberty and shooting people. Now, I'm not advocating violence. That would be horrible if that was the result of this, and I'm advocating not to do this because I have a plan, a nonviolent plan to fix this. But let's remember what George Washington said. He said, at a time when our lordly. This
is super important. This is one of our founding fathers. This is one of the most American men speaking back then in the 1700s.
Masters in Great Britain will be satisfied with nothing less than the deprivation of American freedom. it seems highly necessary that something should be done to avert the stroke and maintain the liberty which we have derived from our ancestors, that no man should scruple or hesitate a moment to use a gun, in defense of so valuable a blessing on which all the good and evil of life depends, is clearly my opinion. Yet an arms, I wouldn't beg to leave to add, should be the last resort. So he's saying that armed resistance is the last resort. And he said it here too. In 1775, after Lexington and Concord, as he took command, he proclaimed to Canadian allies, "We have taken up arms in defense of our liberty, our property, our wives, and our children. We are determined to preserve them or die." So this reflects a consistent theme. Armed resistance as a defensive necessity is to protect inherited liberties, property rights, representation, no taxation without consent, not revolutionary zeal for its own sake. So what I say, and by the way, so they're trying to also now criminalize you if you speak out against this or organize against this. So a bipartisan so Democrats are so Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are just as big of puppets to Israel as Lindsey Graham and Donald.
So both sides are compromised. Okay. JD Vance is there. He has this hillbilly book. I'm an American and I'm a gun-toting dude. But then when you have the same guy supposedly running with the same ideology that Americans would imagine be the case, you do everything in your power to make sure that he is unseated, gone. And when we see this level of corruption, we have to ask, how much longer are we going to tolerate it? How much longer can we actually tolerate it? Okay. Violence is not the answer. Voting obviously doesn't seem to be the answer yet, until we lose all of the at least 65 plus on the voting scale. So this is Charlie Kirk Show on the 18th. And I have this timestamp here that I want to play regarding what they've said about Thomas Massie. It literally says, Thomas Massie, villain or hero, which I think is kind of ridiculous. Villain? How can you say the dude is a villain? You know, sometimes I get this stuff prepared and I'm not paying close enough attention. Villain? What villain? Villain to who? Oh, I know who. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. So, quick pause. This kind of investigation takes some time to put together. I appreciate all of your support being here. Like I said, I'll get to the super chats at the end of all of this. I appreciate you. Please go to clubvoucher.com. You can donate. You can join the community. It's very, very affordable if you want to take part in supporting the mission that me and a lot of others are on the journey of doing. Let's go ahead and play this here. Smash the like if you haven't already. Let me know in the chat if this content is exactly what you needed today.
Is another race that President Trump has weighed in very heavily, and that is involving Thomas Massie in Kentucky. Now, it's become sort of a proxy fight on many things, on Epstein, on the Iran war, on Israel, foreign money. What are you making of this? It seems to be a dead heat right now, Alex. If not, Massie might be a little bit behind depending on the poll you see.
Yeah, it's a dead heat. And it's one of these things where if you poll the Breitbart newsroom, there's going to be a lot of people who are comfortable with Massie, and there's going to be some people who are not. I'm in the camp that would like to see him lose. I think that he's built up his brand as an online grandstander. I don't see him making a lot of productive votes. He seems to be the guy, and J.D. Vance was very articulate about this. Whenever Trump needed him to make sure something passed, then Massie is dependably not there and also out. On X, the Everything app, where he uses the platform to try to fundraise and get clout by suggesting that Trump's government is covering up for pedophiles.
Well, what do you think is happening? How can you not say how can you say this isn't true when that's all they seem to be doing? Lying to us, hiding from us. You know, there's a lot more of these files that need to be released. I don't even think it's half. I think it's 20 times the amount of files still need to come out. I think that there's like only 5% of these files that have been come out. I could be wrong. I think it was like 3 million files, and I think there's 20 million or something. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
Which I don't believe that to be the case. I believe we should all get all full information on Epstein, but I don't think that Donald Trump's government is going out of their way to try to protect pedophiles. That's Massey's entire online brand, and he always is the vote that the Republicans need and can't get, and he loves it. He delights in that. That to me is just so counterproductive, and I think the state of Kentucky can do better.
Nobody wants to vote for your shill for another country. We want to vote for America. America first, America only, whatever. I mean, it's just crazy, man. When you see that the government is bought out by a foreign country and they rub it in our face, how can you have anybody vote for that? Like, actually, honestly vote. If there was no money involved, you think that Thomas Massie would have still lost? Of course not. You had to spend $30 million to swing 7,000 votes. It's just insane. When you look at this, the way that they speak about this man as if he's some villain. It's depressing to watch. You know, I'm not a depressed person, but I hate to watch it. There's this show here. Is this let me see. Let me pull this one up. I think it's this one. It was May 18th. Was it the same? Matt Marlowe says he wants to win. Oh, okay. Editor-in-chief. Yeah, so he already talked about. Okay, so I already showed this. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of clips here actually that we can run through. Let me see. Let me share this one. So let me go to 43 right about here.
With women that have been accused of actually soliciting some of the minors that were abused. So I'm just saying, I have an open mind here, but at the end of the day, I say I will do what JD Vance does. SOT 7.
Oh, that's real. Here, actually, we need to hear what we need to see.
Time is short, and I don't think I think someone can show me this specific person should be charged with crimes against children.
I'd love to see some people charged from it, but that's
I'd love to see.
I agree with your main point, though.
Yeah, sure.
That essentially, listen. There was some calls on X over the weekend to get, will you endorse Thomas Massie? Listen, if Thomas Massie wins, I'm going to be good with it.
But I'm not going to help. You see what I'm saying? You can literally go to their page. If we go to their page, watch. Let me exit out of this. And we go to see the Charlie Kirk Show. They posted nothing positive at all to endorse this dude at all. There's nothing here. They don't even talk about it. Look at this. Tyler Robinson, honorary Charlie. Tommy Robinson honors Charlie. What? Charlie Kirk honored at Tommy Robinson's unite. Okay. They have nothing. We have this race going on, and for days, nothing revolving around that race at all. So they deliberately chose to stay away from the conversation completely when it was very clear where Charlie stood. It's called the Charlie Kirk Show, bro. Tyler Bowyer, you told me you own this Charlie Kirk Show, bro. You and Charlie went into this together. Why are you not doing what Charlie Kirk had done all along? Why? So a lot of people, if they want to know, I reached out to Tyler Bowyer for comment on a couple of things. And we talked about how he got his money because a lot of people were wondering how he bought his property, including me. And he told me, he said, because I own the Charlie Kirk Show. I'm an owner. It's a separate entity. So that's where the money has come from. That's what he said to me. Why are you not putting forward your partner's mission on all accounts? On all accounts. It's ridiculous. There's a clip here I'll play from Theo Vaughn again. 159. Did I play it already? Let me make sure I haven't played it already. Okay, 159. Right. Is it right here? All the way down here? Let me see. 150. So when you're this type of guy, why would you get death threats if you want great for America? Why would you get death threats from anybody in this country? Unless there's a specific agenda that is not America first. If this guy, which it seems to be, that he is America first, why? Who's doing this? Are they paid actors? Is this on purpose from somebody else that's putting out more money to make sure that he is scared? Because he wasn't scared. He ran anyways. He's been doing his thing anyway. And the reason why I think he's mentioned this is because Marlo actually mocks Massie for remarrying after his wife dies from pancreatic cancer. And this is the man, that is literally fighting for America's future, for your kids' future, for our life, really, because we don't know where this is headed now. We're watching a country getting taken away from us very quickly. It's happened very, very quickly over the last few weeks or a few years. 2 years max, a year and a half. Erika Kirk, CEO of Turning Point USA, board chair, unanimously elected by the board on September 18th, 8 days after her husband was killed, Charlie Kirk. 24 days after Charlie was killed on October 4th, Erika filed 3 trademarks at the United States Patents and Trademarks Office. Filed them individually to herself. Did you know this? Let me know in the chat if you know this. Not to the organization, but to Erika Kirk personally. Okay. The widow of the founder filed the founder's brand adjacent trademarks to herself individually less than a month after his death. Tyler Bowyer, who chairs Superfeed Technologies, a company with a Boston subsidiary that collects conservative voter data. Erika Kirk's mother-in-law, or mother, Lori Fronsby, sits on that company's board with Tyler Bowyer. Documented financial and operational ties and relationships between the CEO of TPUSA's family, Turning Point USA's Tyler Bowyer, revenue streams, quid pro quos allegedly through a Boston-aligned data collection company built in Kiev, Ukraine. And these two people, plus the rest of the new leadership, are running a more than that, $500 million company organization, which is Charlie Kirk's organization. And they spent 8 months betraying every documented position that Charlie Kirk publicly held. All right. Now, let me tell you what that money looks like. Thomas Massie, Thomas Massie's primary was the most expensive House primary in American history. Here, let me show you this post that I made. Oh, here's another one. This is the guy that they don't want around, and this might be why. When the leaders of my own party protect us traffic lights, spend our grandkids into oblivion, fund endless wars, lock down our citizens, bail out corporations, bow to other countries, and hurt small farmers, it's true that I won't be their yes man. They don't like that he won't be their yes man. Obviously. Let me show you this poster I made. Okay. So, Charlie's TPUSA is dead. Thanks for nothing. 0 positive post about Thomas Massie from any TPUSA or Charlie Kirk account during the entire primary race. Not one. Charlie Kirk, December of 2016 on X, one of my favorite congressmen, Thomas Massie. Charlie Kirk on his own show in 2023, one of my favorite members of Congress. He loves the Constitution. He loves liberty. He's honest and he's tough. Thomas Massie is just terrific. Massie returned to Kirk's show in April of 2024. Then Charlie Kirk was assassinated at a TPUSA event in September of 2025. 5 months later, they call Massie a rhino from Turning Point Action and amplified Trump's attacks. I thought I had it here, but maybe not. So the organization, think about this, like the organization has never explained the reversal. And actually, Massie attached Charlie's 2016 post and said, what has gotten into y'all? And they've never explained this. This is who runs TPUSA now. Erika Kirk. She filed trademarks for Charlie Kirk herself individually. Tyler Bowyer. They are obviously aligned. Tyler Bowyer, straight up, in my opinion, I think he lied to me. He said, we don't take any foreign money. We don't take any Jewish or Israeli money. What are you talking about, bro? You think we're stupid? You think we're stupid? That's what he told me. He said, we don't take money from Israel, from Boston. Okay. Well, I mean, I have to believe you, I guess, until proven otherwise, which they've all said anyways. You're already proven wrong. What did Charlie Kirk do in the weeks before he was killed? He invited Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Dave Smith, all open critics of Boston foreign policy, to the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit in July of last year, 2025. He was reportedly considering inviting Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene to upcoming events. He was breaking from his pro-Boston donors. Then he was shot in the neck at a TPUSA event on September 10th, 2025. This is what TPUSA does now. Calls Charlie Kirk's documented favorite congressman a rhino, lets the vice president lie about the congressman's voting record at a TPUSA event, partners with the Heritage Foundation, which they already kind of were partnered, but now they're getting deep-rooted partnerships. The same heritage that has authored the Project Esther Foundation, Project Esther, which is a foreign agent registered situation. And they're also, you guys need to know about Heritage Foundation. And I've talked a lot about it on this channel, but we might need to do another show. Their TPUSA is a mini heritage. Okay. They go silent on the most important America First election in this country. This is how empires fall, mind you. I made another post about how empires fall, and I'll show you after this. The empire that Charlie built fell the moment they betrayed the man he loved, and it is over. Okay? Zero positive posts, many documented attacks, and no help whatsoever for your boy Thomas Massie. Here's another one for you. America First died in Kentucky today. Thomas Massie lost his seat. The numbers are real. He was the last consistent America First voice in the Republican caucus with a 96% liberty rating. He voted against the Iran war. He helped force the release of the files. He voted against U.S. military aid to Boston. And then he introduced the AIPAC Act, that bill, to require lobbyists from AIPAC to register as foreign agents under the FARA Act. Does this remind you of anyone? A president, perhaps, that tried to do the same thing? 5 days later, the lobby he tried to register helped end his career. $33 million was spent on this single Kentucky House primary. $15.5 million of it, at least that's been tracked so far, which there's probably a lot more than that, were pro-Boston. Now, I did the math on that. There was 47,000 votes against, I think it was against Massie. Yeah, I have it right here. If you take 15.5 million and you divide it by 47,781, it's $329 per vote for Ed Galrain. So they paid $329 per vote for 47,000 plus votes. This is not a Kentucky primary. Okay. This was a foreign policy referendum. It was bought with pro-Boston money to remove the only Republican vote against more war, more bombs, more foreign aid to them, more cover-ups. When a lobby keeps pushing a foreign government's policy and spends almost $16 million and probably a lot more, actually, to that $30 million, to defeat a sitting U.S. congressman who tried to require it to register under FARA, The question is no longer whether foreign interests are buying our elections. The question is whether we are still pretending that they're not. Republics do not die in a coup. They die in primaries brought by people who do not live here for the seats of the few who would not bend. This is how empires fall, and ours has already started to fall. Okay? And we're watching our empire collapse and crumble. The problem is that Thomas Massie said it out loud, what Donald Trump just admitted in his own words, is that the war is for Boston. The war is for Boston. Let me find this clip. What he's literally saying. Let's see if I can find what I need here. Here.
Need it at all.
Fair enough. So,
I mean, you could make the case, you know, like, why are we even, we're doing it to help Israel and to help Saudi Arabia and to help Qatar and UAE and, you know, Kuwait and other countries, Bahrain.
It also helps China.
And we're actually, I told them today, I said, you know, we're helping you. We don't need it at all.
We don't need it at all.
We don't need it at all.
Fair enough. So
they're helping other people, other governments, other countries. They do not care. He does not care. He said it.
You know, we give Israel $4 billion a year. That's a lot. Congratulations, by the way. That's pretty good. But we give Israel billions of dollars a year. Billions. It's one of the highest of, and we give a lot of countries money. You wouldn't believe.
I mean, we know this, right? We know this. Now, I'm going to show you something I think that is actually hopeful. Shout out to Savvy Sabs. She plays this clip here.
It has all along, but go ahead and bring these things in as well.
And it has all along, but why am I hopeful right now? Because if you looked at the crosstab in the polling, and I'm sure if we had exit polling, it would show the same thing. We have the younger demographic. We You are patriots, and you will inherit this country, and you will make it better. And I am hopeful because of that. Thank you. We accidentally, I think, didn't mean to do this. It started out as an election, and it turned into a movement.
A movement. That's what I think has been created, is a movement towards what we actually need in order for this country to survive another 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000 years. Can we get there? I don't know. It's not looking great. I hope so, though. This is actually a hopeful speech.
I mean, I think people, if you're...
I just closed the vote on this poll here. So is America ready for a revolution? Let me put this in the chat. So 74% says yes. Revolution doesn't necessarily mean guns blazing. It just means change towards something better. A revolution that's set forth on our own volition. You're voting. That's 500. How many votes? 477 votes. It's a lot of yeses. Now, revolutions, again, like I said, they don't have to be hot. Okay. They just have to be done properly. I don't know if it can be done voting. I don't think so. And honestly, if you've heard my version of the New World Order and how we are going to get there, I don't know if any of this stuff matters anymore. But it's nice to see someone like Massie, after taking a hit like this, actually realize that there's a movement being crafted here.
If you're not tired of politics, if you're not jaded, if you're not cynical, and so many people are.
I am jaded. I am cynical. I am.
The people that want somebody that'll go along to get along. I've never heard of that strategy, but that seems to be what the voters want. That's what's been promised to them, but not the young voters. I mean, we stirred up something. There is a yearning in this country for somebody who will vote for principles over party. You all don't like bullies, and you don't tolerate them, and I love you for it. You also, yeah, they couldn't listen.
So do you guys see again? It started a movement, and hopefully that movement continues outside of this particular race. Now, Thomas Massie is still going to be in Congress until January. Best thing Thomas Massie could do right now at this point in time is just let everything out. Do as many interviews as possible.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Do you think, I just want to know, do you think Thomas Massie will run for president 2028? Yes or no? I'm big on the yes or no's. Some people are like, I can't go yes or no. Well, sorry. I don't like a maybe. I'm not half in, half out. I'm all in or I'm all out, baby. So let me say this on Massie, because if you only know him, again, through the last few months, you do not know him. I've been watching for a few years. Once I got into more deeper into finance over the last, I guess maybe since 2022, so 4 years. Thomas Massie voted against Boston completely, against the wars, against the corruption, against the money, against the very thing that has taken him out of this chair, this seat. The one Trump just admitted is for everyone except Americans. I think I have that actually. Let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is another one we got to watch. Actually, do we have it here? He was on the White House lawn saying this. Yeah, here. You guys have seen this, I'm sure. One last thing before we wrap up on Massie.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
I don't think about Americans' financial situations. I don't think about anybody. All I think about is Iran can't have a nuclear weapon.
Think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing.
Think about it.
Motivating you to make a deal.
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
I don't think about Americans' financial anybody. Nope. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Right? I mean, he said it, not me. You know, even on Sean Hannity that I showed you. The Boston-funded ad spending defeat that only Republicans in Congress who said that this war was unconstitutional was Thomas Massie. There might have been others I don't know about, but you can't make this up, man. Charlie Kirk privately agreed with Massie as well. Vance admitted Charlie was worried about him. And then Charlie was killed. And then Trump escalated. Then the organization Charlie built backed the president in destroying the only congressman who had been right all along, destroying their own agenda. Turning Point USA is trash. They're going down in flames, and they deserve it, just like Daily Wire. I hope whatever money that they got was worth it, because you destroyed a legacy. Erika, Tyler, Andrew Colvett, all of you clowns, bro. He forced the Epstein Files Transparency Act through a bipartisan. This is not about left versus right anymore. You must understand that. It really never has been. But hopefully this is clear enough to understand this is not left versus right. This is us versus them. And I hate to say it that way. This is us versus them. He introduced the AIPAC Act. They don't want to register as foreign agents. They just want to use their money as a vote in order to get whatever they want. Money as a voice in politics should be illegal. The files are out because of Massie, whatever we have at least. He made it happen. Okay? Not Trump, not Bondi, not Bongina, not Kash Patel. He voted against military aid for that country. Repeatedly, on the record, he introduced all of these things that exposes the way that the government works from the inside. Of course, they don't want that. He voted twice against the big, beautiful bill. Big, beautiful bill. Not because he opposes tax cuts, but he voted for the tax cuts in 2017. He opposed the bill in 2026. In his own words on Theo Vaughn's podcast, it had AI provisions that override local zoning laws on data centers. And if you're watching my channel, you know that what is MIDA? MIDA. It's a military installation, military installation development authority, MIDA in Utah. That they are literally running a countrywide military operation in order to get the AI data centers built. There's no local governance that can push back on it. So, I think we can close with one last thing here before we go to some of the super chats. Where is it? I know I have it somewhere. Oh, yeah, this was, here, let me see. Oh, I thought I had it. It's okay. But he said he would have come out sooner. I think I played in the beginning. I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrain in Tel Aviv. Again, I started this with a half-hearted watching him make a joke. I'll end with it, because this is how ridiculous our politics has gotten, is that a sitting Thomas Massie, a political powerhouse, someone that was able to get these votes through, literally had $30 million put against him for just a few thousand votes. That means something. It means something. It means that he was likely right about everything. And they don't want someone right putting their feet to the fire, because they're doing everything in their power to keep from being exposed. These are the people that are running we have a tyrannical government almost. I don't know. Let me look up the definition of tyrannical. It's been a while. Tyrannical government definition. Let's take a look, see, huh? Do we have a tyrannical government? What is a tyrannical government? Legal clarity. Means more than cruelty. It's a pattern of unchecked power. Oh, shit. Sorry, here. What is a tyranny in government? What is tyranny in government? Definition and signs. Tyranny in government means more than cruelty. It's a pattern of unchecked power, eroded rights, and control. Learn how to recognize it. This was published in April of 2026. A tyrannical government exercises power oppressively, without meaningful legal restraint, and in services of the ruler's interests. I got to start a new poll. 78% you think that he will run for office. Do you believe we currently have a tyrannical government? Put in the chat, please. Let me know what you think. Okay. A tyrannical government exercises power oppressively, without meaningful legal restraint and in service of the ruler's interests rather than the people's welfare. The concept has a long philosophical pedigree stretching back to ancient Greece, and it carries specific meaning in constitutional law. Also in international human rights frameworks and modern political science. What separates tyranny from merely flawed governance is a cluster of traits: the concentration of unchecked power, the systematic suppression of individual rights, and the replacement of law with the ruler's will. Looks to me like we might have one. Here's some core characteristics of tyrannical government. Tyrannical governments share a recognizable set of traits regardless of the era or region. The most fundamental is the concentration of power in a single individual or small group that answers to no one. Genuine checks and balances are absent. There's no independent legislature pushing back, no judiciary striking down illegal orders, no free press exposing abuses. Whatever formal institutions exist serve as window dressing. Wow. Sounds like we might have one, actually. I didn't think we did, but maybe we do. Individual freedoms disappear or shrink to near nothing. Speech, assembly, we're getting there. Speech, assembly, religious practice, and the press are restricted or outright banned. People cannot organize politically, protest, or publicly criticize the government without risking punishment. We are kind of at that point. People are scared to make content. The government claims authority over domains that free societies consider private: what people read, who they associate with, and how they worship. The government claims authority over domains that free societies would consider private: what people read, who they associate with, and how they worship. This is exactly what's happening in the foreign agent registrations on AmericansForTransparency.org. This is exactly what's happening right now. Was your church targeted? Yes, there's 500 plus churches just in the filing alone. Look at this. This is what that looks like. 2.5 million every single week targeted. Their phones targeted. Perhaps the clearest marker of tyranny is the collapse of the rule of law. In a functioning legal system, laws apply equally to everyone, including those in power. Courts operate independently. People accused of crimes get fair hearings. In a tyrannical system, none of that holds. Laws exist on paper, but function as tools to punish opponents and reward allies. Legal protections like habeas corpus, the right to a fair trial, and prohibitions on retroactive punishments are the first casualties. The U.S. Constitution explicitly bans bills of attainder, laws that punish specific people without trial, and ex post facto laws, retroactive criminalization, precisely because the founders recognized that these hallmarks are of tyrannical rule. When a government can imprison people without charges, rewrite laws to criminalize past behavior, or strip rights from disfavored groups through legislation rather than judicial process, the legal system has become an instrument of oppression rather than a shield against it. The judiciary loses any pretense of independence. Judges are appointed for loyalty, removed for inconvenient rulings, or simply ignored. Legal outcomes become predictable based on the defendant's political standing rather than the facts. This is where many people first feel the weight of tyranny personally, not through grand political events, but through the realization that the law will not protect them. Information control. Controlling what people know is often more effective than controlling what they do. Tyrannical regimes censor independent media, criminalize journalism that challenges official narratives, and floods public discourse with propaganda. The goal isn't necessarily to make people believe the propaganda. It's to make the truth so hard to find that people give up trying or to create enough confusion that collective action becomes impossible. Surveillance and intimidation. Let's just keep going. Why don't we? Fear is the engine that keeps tyranny running. Historical regimes relied on secret police and networks of informants. Modern technology has expanded the toolkit dramatically. Some governments now use facial recognition, internet monitoring, and the algorithmic scoring system that tracks citizens' behavior and assigns rewards or punishments based on compliance. Penalties under these systems can include restricted access to transportation, financial services, employment, and education. At least some local governments have incorporated rules specifically punishing petitioners and protesters into such systems. This chilling effect is the point. When people know why they're being watched and scored, most self-censor without ever being explicitly told to. Hence Boston. Okay. I'm not done, but I do want to show something. Let me get out of this page real quick. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Let me go back to something, because this right here is tit for tat tyranny. I'm going to show you. Make sure you become a member for 99 cents. On Saturday, we're going to be doing an AI education day. You definitely want to be there.
And Donald Trump. So this is bipartisan.
So let's
out against this or organize against this.
Let's read the tyranny and then let's play
consent, not revolution.
Okay, so let's read this. Penalties under these systems. Okay, at least some local governments have incorporated rules specifically punishing petitioners and protesters into such systems. Okay. When people know they're being watched and scored, most self-censor. Okay. Penalties under these systems can include restricted access to financial services, transportation, employment, and education. And at least some local governments have incorporated rules specifically punishing petitioners and protesters. Here we go.
Revolutionary zeal for its own sake. So what I say, what needs, so, and by the way, so they're trying to also now criminalize you if you speak out against this or organize against this. So a bipartisan.
Didn't we just read that? We just read that, right?
So Democrats are just, so Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are just as big of puppets to Israel as Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump. So this is bipartisan, right? So this is Israel first, you last. No, you can. They don't work for you. The
This is tyranny.
elected people don't work for you. They work for the billionaire class, the WES Davos class. That's who actually, they have bosses and they don't work for you. Okay. They certainly don't work for the people that voted for them. So this is from right now. Bipartisan Senate duo unveils sweeping anti-Semitism bill. Okay. And so what's in that? $1 billion for Jewish communities, censor speech critical of Israel or Zionism, censor students critical of Israel, censor online speech critical of Israel. The bill is introduced by 2 Israeli lobby-funded Zionist agents, Zionist-occupied government agents. So they're going to criminalize that. They're in the process of doing that. And so again, it's not only that, it's AI data centers, it's endless wars, it's the divestment from people, it's people not being able to have a job because of AI, and they're building prisons because they know a revolution is coming, unrest is coming. And that's why there was $80 billion for ICE prisons and ICE. So that's the new.
Okay. We've got a clear example of surveillance and intimidation. Economic control. Tyrannical governments frequently control key industries, natural resources, or financial systems to maintain leverage over the population. When the state controls your livelihood, dissent carries not just the risk of imprisonment, but of losing your ability to feed your family. State-controlled economies also let rulers reward loyalists and starve opposition regions or communities of resources. Why do you think they have these people that are disseminating information from the White House, like Andrew Colvett, like Libs of TikTok, like All those people that made the post on the ballroom, they're loyalists. They're going to get rewarded when whatever happens. They're not going to starve. Okay? Distinguishing tyranny from related concepts. So yeah, I think that I've shown enough. It looks to me that we are in the middle of a tyrannical government operating right before our eyes. So I'll leave you with this, and then we'll get into the super chats. Charlie Kirk was killed 8 months ago. And what this organization that Charlie Kirk built, what they've done after he was no longer here to defend the Constitution, to defend his own documented positions, what they did to the man publicly, or what they did not do for his favorite congressman that he publicly endorsed multiple times on the record. They did not do anything. They did nothing to defend him. They actively attacked him. They let the vice president on camera, on their stage, attack him, Thomas Massie. They ran anti-Massie segments on Charlie Kirk's own show the day before the primary, calling him a villain. They mocked his late wife from the editor of Breitbart on Charlie's own broadcast. They hid Charlie's own words on the campaign account of the man who beat him. And they did it while $32 million in foreign-aligned ad spending flooded into Kentucky to end the only Republican who would not bend. Charlie Kirk was aligned a lot more than we might have realized with Thomas Massie, and they probably knew that already. Imagine what would be going out on the airwaves if Charlie was still alive today. If you came in defending Turning Point USA, which I don't think many of you would have today on this channel, but if you did, and you stayed for an hour and you're still defending Turning Point USA after watching just this alone, I want you to know that the receipt you have here defeats any of the thing. Like, if you have a receipt that defeats this, then send it to me. I'll read every one. If you came in confused and you have a little more clarity, share this show, share the stream, send it to the person in your family who thinks Charlie Kirk would have been proud of what his organization just did, or did not do. Because I know he wouldn't be. His wife, when asked what would Charlie think about the war in Iran, I wish that Charlie would be here to tell us what. Get out of here, dude. You're ridiculous. We know what Charlie would have thought about the war. We know what he thought about the data centers. We know what he would have thought about this money going against Massie. And he would have been the loudest voice against it. Thomas Massie's career killed by foreign money and Trump. Charlie Kirk's voice, in my opinion, killed by foreign money and Trump. I think lobbying should be illegal. So let's go ahead and jump into super chats. Thanks for waiting. I appreciate it. I hope that you liked the show as much as I liked delivering it. It was kind of harder for me because I'm so irritated, but I try to keep it cool. Let me know in the chat what you think. Whoa, Dale coming in with 10 Danks memberships. Dude, thank you. Dale with 20 Danks memberships. If you got memberships from Dale, please say thank you. Thank you so much, Dale. You're awesome. 30 Dankster memberships. So Saturdays, 10 a.m., we are going to be going through AI. A lot of people are asking me, how do I use AI? How can I become more advanced in AI? Well, I'm going to show you. So I would love to have you there. So use your membership to come for members only on Saturday. It would be a privilege to have you. Thank you so much, Dale. You're incredible. Christy, thanks for the 10. Digging the intro. Can't stay trying to get Spencer Pratt in office. Love you all, mods. Thank you, Christy. Janie Bakes, it's amazing how you've jumped into my top 5 podcasters in no time. Awesome content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Janie. I appreciate you so much. Where are we at? Amy, thank you for the 10. I feel so defeated today. Thanks for being here today. You're welcome. Don't be defeated. This is the beginning of something good. I can assure you. God has a plan for everything. God has a plan. We just have to see the good in all of this. We have to see the positive in all of this. I have to change this real quick. Just so I want to let people know exactly where to find this thing right here. So boom. And then you can join by going to clubvatra.com/Dankster Intel or Real Dankster. Actually, I have both of those locked in. So yeah, you can do that there. All right, let's keep moving. Thank you for the super so far. What's up, Bays? Dropping a 20 ball for 20 memberships. Wow, you guys are spoiling me, dude. What's going on, man? I appreciate you, man. I hope that you had a good stream earlier. Sorry I didn't get to drop in earlier. Say thanks to Bays if you got a membership. Thank you, bro. Very kind of you, man. Whoa, dude. Spoiling me. What is going on, you people? I am so grateful to have this community and hope. Bays is one of the best homies, man. We've been talking a lot, especially after the Massie race. Yeah, we talk a lot all the time in general, man. He's a good dude. Thank you, bro. 50 ball, man. Thanks. Thank you for everything. Shout to American Discourse News and shout to Dale. And thank you to everyone who's been supporting us. Absolutely. You can find Real Bays. I'll show you guys what's up here because Bays is now on there. I think let's go and show you what's up with Club Vatra. If you've never been, you can check it out. I'll just very simply show you what it is so that you understand. A lot of people are asking me, like, what is this thing? I'll make it full screen here. Let me add it. Thank you for that, Bays. I appreciate it, bro. So it's a place where you can connect with the creator. All right. I'm an admin, so but you can, if I log out, you just log in and you can log in with either your Discord or your Google account. And then from there, you can go and browse the creators. And so Bays, oh, you put your logo on there, bro. Oh, we got to look at your tiers. I don't know if you took them down, but I'll take a look. But yeah, Bays, Better Judgment, I'm on there. Discourse, American Discourse. News is on there, Jesse on Fire, and you can join the community. And it's just $5. And you literally just join and you'll get thrown into our community in Discord. It'll ask you to basically, I have like this one subscription that I can show people. You would just click join the Discord now or sync your role if you got in and your role wasn't given to you. And that's how you join. It's very, very simple. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much. Thanks, Bays. You're the man, bro. I appreciate that. All right. So what's up, Mrs. Hightower? Welcome, new member. Christy Hughes gifted one Danks membership. Thank you, Christy. New member, Baby J. Good to see you again. Baby J, $2. Project Hoodwinked our asses to so hardcore. Crisis King, thank you, Dank. You're welcome. Crisis King indeed. God bless. Thank you so much. Kent Evans, IE. I thought it said IEHP, like Inland Health Empire. All right. Please look at Army Manual 3940, goal of data center. Okay. Let me add this to my notes. Look. Okay. Saved. Thank you. Amy, I'm so tired of the lies. As an individual, I don't know what to do. Keep on it, Danks. It's not easy, but you have to be able to try to find the silver lining because right now what we're seeing is actually something good. Like good is coming out of this because it's in our faces and we can't run from it. People can't hide from it now. So when you see a tyrannical government being shaped right in front of your eyes, it'll give us a way to respond and come together. It's not left versus right. So just know that it's like, this is when they say, when people tell us, and we've heard, and you've all heard, God and Jesus will not give us something that we can't get through. And this is one of them. It's all good. They're showing their cards. It's all good. It's a good thing. Trust me. It's a good thing. Granny, welcome, Granny. Join us on Saturdays. Granny with the super chat, $1.99. New member, so grateful for you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you too. I appreciate you. I hope to see you on Saturday. What's up, Michelle Mabel for $10? Interesting how big of a show they made of his death, like Vance, Trump, and Bibi were his closest people and pushed like he was 100 with them. Guess they didn't think he would ever look back. Yeah, they're just literally like hoodwinked is such a good one. They hoodwinked us, man. Tricked us, lied. You know, I think Jimmy Dore was saying it. Somebody was saying they didn't even all they did was lie to the American people and they got what they wanted. How crazy is that? What kind of lesson is that? How do you teach Americans that want to become politicians one day to try to do good? That teaches them that you can lie and get away with it and then get everything that you want. Shouldn't be that way. And I don't think it's going to be that way for very much longer. Thank you for the super chat. Amy's back again. $30 million could do so much for a town. Sickening that they bought votes with it. I know. And only 7,000 votes or whatever. Less than 10K worth of votes. You bought 10,000 votes or whatever or less. Ridiculous. I agree. Imagine what a town can do with 30 million. If you didn't have politics, like all these political people with their hands in the pot, what 30 million could really do. Like if you gave me 30 million to take care of my town and the people in it, man, the things that we could do. But they will never do that because everyone's trying to get something out of it. They want their own cut. They all want to cut. They all want to cut. What's up, Butterfly? $9.99. Hi, Danks. It's gonna keep it's gonna keep changing faster. Get good with Jesus Christ because life, as we know, is gonna get real hard, especially when we don't take the mark. Christ is King. Go Max. P.S. Just got refill. Pray. Oh, just got. Yeah. God bless. I will. I've been keeping you in my prayers, Butterfly. Thank you for the super chat. Bucknut became a YouTube member. Welcome. Hope to see you on Saturday. James Wells, Dankster. What's up, bro? Sent you an email. Subject, red and silver. A song I made during a live you did with Jesse the other day. Check it out, please. Okay, I will. Okay, red and silver. Red and silver. I got you right here, bro. Good. You making music? I like to see it. What's up, Butterfly? Back again. Charlie would have gotten Massie the votes. Gross. We are owned by Ally and the E-Class. My original chat got censored. Massie for Prez. Thank you for prayers. Thanks. God bless. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. They are literally censoring super chats. Or even comments and chats in general. It's happened to me before too. Julie, $4.99. Hey, Danks and community. We need to pray for our leaders. That's truly the best and probably only way out. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely need to pray for Trump. He's not in a good way right now. He's not in a good way right now, you guys. Oh, man. Thank you for that, Julie. I appreciate that. That's a good reminder. Elena gifted 1 Danks membership. Thank you, Elena. 0 sliding through with the Danks membos. Man, we're gonna have a ballin' ass Saturday. It's gonna be dope. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna show you all how to use AI. We're gonna engage with AI. We're gonna maybe build some things. I want you to, if you are gonna be joining on Saturday, get yourself a Claude membership. It's $20. Start using Claude. And if you have the membership, I can show you how to install the artifacts, how you can build graphics and do all these cool things. That's what we're going to do on Saturday. So make sure that you have yourself a membership so you can do things without getting limited. Thank you so much for that, bro. Mountain Star Studio, what's up? $2. Thanks for great research, reporting, and education. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Sass Girl 90 with the $5. Our tyrant Prez knocked down the East Wing without a second thought. Didn't give 2 shits about the rules. Continues to do what he pleases. Worried. Gotta pray. You're right, though. It's worrisome, to say the least. Kilroy Jinx, $10. I like the logo, bro. Caught you yesterday on YouTube with Matt and Kelly. 100% agree with your remarks about AI. I am a sub on all of your channels now and look forward to your content. Cool, man. Good to have you. Go and check out my last 2 live streams with Elizabeth Lane on it if you like the data center stuff. They're really, really good. That's really good content. They're suppressed. I don't know if they're suppressed. It's just not my typical content. But they're some of the best videos that I've done. And Elizabeth Lane is great. So welcome. It's great to have you. Thanks for the super chat. Cassidy Evans, $4.99. Y'all, please pray for me. My 18-year-old son and husband think I'm crazy and just a conspiracy theory person and believe nothing I say about our government. That's a shame. That's a shame. I'll pray for you and your husband and your son. I hate to hear that. That sucks. Yesterday, I told my wife some things, and at least she sees eye to eye with me. I hate that. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, I just wanted to put your name down here. Okay. 5 Danks memberships. Thank you, Zero. Say thank you to Zero if you got them already, or if you recognize that you got them. Thank you, bro. Jimmy Dore has been sounding the alarm on Original Gangster Time. Ooh. Yeah, he is sounding the alarm, bro. Like, he ain't playing. He's got his hat on. He's firing. He's firing out. The Rileys. What's up, Rileys? Australian bucks, $20. Thank you. We need to try something different. A president versus a president, vice president admins for each side, like Massie and Rokana, more likely to gain more support to control and pass bills, etc. Work together. Both sides are represented. And more people likely to unite and fight together. Yeah. I don't know, man. Sometimes I think that this is all just a big charade. Like, what if they use it to put... I don't want to... This is where my mind goes. What if they did that to Massie, did that to Joe Kent, did that to whatever, and then they use that to strengthen our support in them, get them put into office, and then it's just all way worse from there. That's where they've got my head thinking. Let's strengthen the support for Massie by using this weapon against him, and then put his ass into office in 2028 and get what we need done with their vote. They voted for it. Can you imagine? That's where my head goes. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I don't believe that, but it's just a theory. Thank you for the super chat. James Wells, how to become a millionaire. 1, start with the $1 billion company. 2, make Erika Kirk your CEO, and in 3 months, you will be a millionaire. How to become a millionaire. You should write a 3-page book. I bet you'd become a millionaire selling that. A pamphlet? $1? Can you sell 1 million pamphlets? Thank you for the super chat. The old ways of controls. Hope I didn't just miss a super. The old ways of controls, Elena Laurent, $10, doesn't work anymore. Don't work anymore. The cakes are too expensive and made with fake ingredients that make us sick. And the circuses are put on by creepy PDF files, so they're getting more authoritarian. 100, yeah, I feel similar, right? I feel same. They do not want to be exposed. Their lizard skin is starting to peel. And eventually, if you're a lizard, scum lizard bag, your skin's going to have to eventually come off, right? Because they shed their skin. And I feel like they're shedding their skin right now. Lizard people. You watch Y-Files? Put a W in the chat if you watch Y-Files. I feel like the lizard people are here and their skins are shedding. Yeah. The old ways don't work anymore. That's data center, surveillance, control over speech, authoritarianism, tyranny. It's obviously coming. That's what I see. Thank you for the super chat. James is back. He taught me how to make that song AI. Oh, yeah, I see it in the email. Showed me how. I have it right here. You showed us how to make music on a live a few weeks ago. I think you will think this is funny. Thanks for the hard work, but I appreciate it. I will check it out. Off topic, but we'll play it on Saturday if you come hang out. Lori, hey, what's up, Lori? Lori C.Y. Saki, $4.99. Good to see you again. Off topic, but what is going on with the fires in Riverside? The smoke is impacting families and friends in Diamond Bar. I heard while I was getting ready for the show, fires in Riverside. I live in Riverside County. We can take a look if we want here. Let's see. Fire alert. Here, let me go. I'll share the screen. So where are we at? Do we have a map or something? Do we have a map? Let me see. Map. Live feed. Incidents. Cal fire. Maps where wildfires are burning. Does it show or no? Bane, Verona fire. Oh, yeah. Whoa. This is like right here, bro. Verona fire. Is that right now? Updated 3 hours ago. So, yeah. So I'm like right over here. Oh, you guys can't see it here. So I live right out here in the Palm Springs area. You can't really see it. But yeah, this is like what would be called Hemet, I guess. So it looks like Hemet is where the fires are at. Simi Valley, yeah. This is all Riverside. I hate to hear that, dude. This is ridiculous. I hope they're not man-made fires. Yeah, I have to check that out. I might take the truck out and go take a look. AFAT, YouTube member, welcome. Butterfly, back again, $4.99. Economist magazine puts out a year ahead. Shows planned through collage drawing. You might be interested. I keep getting censored. Had to erase details. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, I'll screenshot it. Let's add that. Thank you, Butterfly. Good to see you. BL Moats became a YouTube member. Saturdays. Hope to see you. Whoa, $50. Thank you, Allison. Allison wants truth. I'm trying to remember if I remember you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the big super chat. Man, you guys are so loving. I appreciate it. It means a lot, man. You have no idea. It helps so much. Thanks for reminding us there's hope. Christ is King. You're welcome. God bless you. Christ is King. Thank you. Ed Franks, $9.99. Got here late. Elites have lost the plot, which is why they need to quickly build the privately owned data surveillance centers and install. Were you the one that was like, please just call them surveillance centers? There was somebody that was like, stop calling them data centers, call them surveillance centers. I'm like, bro, they do everything. Data surveillance, mathematic, AI centers, and install a techno-authoritarian state where they lose MSM boomers. Yeah, they are in a rush because those boomers and those Gen Xers, I mean, mostly boomers. It was mostly boomers on that chart. Thank you for the super chat. Count on Jesus, fam. Vahid Rena, $1.99. Thank you, Vahid. Christ is King. The Rileys, $2 a buck. Look up London Blade Runners. Good inspo. Interesting. Okay. Everything that you guys tell me, I do. I do it like right now. I got it all over here. It's like, what is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Tesla Trent, $5. Thank you for all you do. I'm looking forward to the Saturday show and watching the previous shows. Oh, yeah, we'll have a blast. We'll have a blast. I look forward to it. Yeah, come hang out Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes I push it till 11. Just depends if I sleep in or not. What CPU set up for an AI newbie streamer startup? You don't need much. I mean, you kind of do. I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask. I guess I am the right person. Something that, like most of these new computers these days, you can get away with. I would just get a desktop. You know, I've upgraded. So my computer is, my wife bought me back in 2022. And then I've been upgrading it ever since. So it came, you need like, go and get it here. Hold on. I'll show you exactly what you need. I mean, the most affordable thing I could tell you, I'm going to show you right now. I'll show you right now. the most affordable thing I can tell you. What the fuck? Here. This is one. Let me make sure there's no private info on here. Okay. So let me move all this stuff. Okay. So what you want, if you want to get a full package set up already, I would go for an HP Omen. If you want a desktop, they have a small bottleneck in their compute and their CPU. You can change things out. If you want to get away from HP, so like this one, I wouldn't go. What you need is the GPU power, and you need some RAM. Like 32 gigs is good to start. These are kind of expensive. I have this one. No, I have a 25L. 25L. Mine came with a 3060, but now I have a 4070 Ti Super. Let's see. $1,100, the 16L. This one right here, you can upgrade the RAM. Check this out. This is a good price right here. 5060 Ti. I would get this one right here. This is the 5060. This is the 5060 Ti. If you can get one of these, I'll put it in the chat if you want it. And then what you can do is you can upgrade your RAM, and you can buy the RAM sticks. They're kind of expensive right now. 16 gigabytes is enough, but I have 64. 1 terabyte of SSD for this price right here. You can't beat that. I would get that. Now, if you want a laptop, I would go Alienware laptop. I have the M18. The M16 is good. I bought it. My laptop is like $5,000, but they have one that's cheaper. Here, let me put this in the chat. I don't know if that's gonna make it. I think it's kind of long. Oh shit. Here, I'll put what it's called. Hold on, real quick. This one right here. HP Omen. Right here. This is what you want for a desktop. It's not the best recommendation, but it's for the price, it's pretty damn good. They have a 32 gig for 14. If you go to Alienware, they have one for $800 I saw recently. This one right here is $1,100. So this isn't bad either. The Aurora gaming laptop. It's an Alienware like partnership. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Those two are good. This one has 16 gigabytes DDR5, 1 terabyte SSD, 5050, 8 gigs. The only thing is you want to maybe get, yeah. I have one that has everything, and it was worth it. Like if you can buy the official Dell Alienware from Dell, it's worth every penny. I'll tell you that much. It's worth every penny. All right. What else we got? Julie, I think it's the last one. Thanks for all you do and your hard work. Speaking of your wife, was she the one in the video with you at the Padres store? Yeah. I put up a short. We were at the Padres game and walking around. I recorded some clips and I put them all together eventually. So if you go to my other channel, Danks Clips, youtube.com/@DanksClips, my latest short or one of them should be there. I think it's there and on Instagram. But yeah, that's her. Thank you. All right. That's it. I appreciate all the love. We had a great turnout today. I didn't expect to have that decent of a turnout, but we peaked at 811 live viewers on YouTube and averaged around 750 the whole time. So that's great. Thank you for being here. Share the love, share the content. I'm probably going to clip the end of that tyranny one. That's a pretty good clip right there. So God bless you all. I love you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in the next one.